Some analysis on this situation. Maria Camila Rincon is a senior news producer for TRT Espaneol, and she joins me live here on set. Maria, good to have you here with us on TRT World. You know, a lot of questions remain unanswered about what we are covering right now in terms of who is in power in Venezuela, in terms of the location of Nicolas Maduro, in terms of whether or not what the U.S. did to Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela was legal or not. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a little bit chaotic since 2 a.m., but we are expecting Donald Trump's news conference. I think we will have more details about it. The most important information so far was Pam Bondi's tweet about Nicolas Maduro being indicted, several charges, including something about narco-terrorism. But from Venezuela, the authorities, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Interior, and the Vice President have gone publicly, activated all the protocols. That's what they say publicly. People are on the streets, as we have been seeing on our coverage. So right now is waiting us for Trump to be out in
Because
Mar-a-Lago.
that's when we're going to get some real information.
Some details. Right? I mean, Delcy Rodriguez, the Vice President of Venezuela, asked for, as you said, like proof of life. So they say they have it under custody, Maduro and his wife, but we haven't seen any footages more than the explosions around Caracas and Venezuela. And now it's finally the sun out because it was during the overnight. So it was a lot of chaos, some challenges to confirm the information. So it came from reporters from agencies that were in Caracas.
What are you hearing from your sources on the ground in Venezuela right now in terms of the mood in the country? Of course, we saw protesters out on the streets in Venezuela, supporters of Nicolas Maduro demanding U.S. government return their president back to the country. But again, I think it's important to highlight here that Nicolas Maduro also faces opposition from within the country right now. But correct me if I'm wrong, we have not seen any opposition
leaders,
people?
Not yet.
Not yet. So
yet.
They're muted?
Let's see. Maybe they're waiting for Trump to go public first and give all the information on what's expected now. Because there are also reports from the U.S. saying there are not going to be more attacks or more ground operations since they already have Maduro. But the situation is a little bit unstable. It's changing every minute.
Okay. Now here's the question, and you know, this is something that I was thinking about when I was coming into the studios today. Nicolas Maduro, he's disliked by people in Venezuela, and he's also liked by people in Venezuela, right? So he enjoys both support and opposition from within the country. Now, when you look at the opposition of Venezuela right now, especially in the context of these latest U.S. attacks, some analysts were predicting that the opposition was completely backing these strikes on Venezuela, which I really, struggle to understand why. Because, see, in the end, what's happening in Venezuela right now, or what was happening there, is a domestic affair for Venezuelans, right? It's for them to sort it out. The opposition or the accusations that Nicolas Maduro was facing, that does not give the right to the United States to come and attack Venezuelans when they're sleeping, does it?
No, absolutely. And Gustavo Petro, Colombia's president, was one of the first ones that through Twitter confirmed these attacks. So for the region, is very worrying situation. Venezuela is a polarized society, so it's a lot of people support Maduro, other half they don't. And there are a lot of Venezuelans out of the country that have migrated around the last 2 decades because of the economical challenges in Venezuela. So the opposition has always tried to ask the international community to go into Venezuela, and because they accused Maduro of stealing the elections last year. And they say they have proof that the other candidate, Edmundo González, won the elections. And U.S. supported this version. So that's when really the tensions started escalating. 1 year ago, before even Trump was back to power, right? So the opposition has, during decades, trying to, approach the international community to make something to change like the government, because they say they don't have free elections. Obviously, inside Maduro and the electoral authority certified these results, and he won, but it was a very little margin of the difference between him and the other candidate. So that's important to understand why the opposition will call for an intervention on an attack inside Venezuela from the US.
Right. I mean, that's a very important detail there. Thank you very much for your insights. I believe now